This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good morning, all of you. As you can see, we are all wearing pink today, and we are wearing pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We will be getting into that very important topic a little bit later, but first, we want to make sure, have you all seen this? Again, a little trigger warning here. Hamas released its first hostage video showing a 21-year-old named Mia Shem. Mia was kidnapped at the music festival where at least 260 people were killed. Her family released this video showing her before the kidnapping, as you see Mia there. In the hostage video, Mia speaks in Hebrew, saying, quote, "At the moment, I am in Gaza. I just ask that I am returned as fast as possible to my family, to my parents, and to my siblings. Please get us out of here as quickly as possible." There's another portion of the video that shows Mia being treated for an arm injury, and Mia's mom, Karen, spoke about the video in a press conference. Let's take a look at what Karen had to say.
I didn't know if she's dead or alive until yesterday. All I knew is that she's might be kidnapped. I'm begging the world to bring my baby back home. She only went to a party, to a festival party, to have some fun. And now she's in Gaza.
Karen also spoke with NBC's Lester Holt, and here's some of that interview.
Does she look like the Mia that you know?
She looks pale. She looks very frightened. She looks in pain. She looks alone and scared.
So we want to ask you this, and we're speaking to you out there and to you on the panel here. Does this video give you hope, or does it give you terror? Now, I want to be clear about this because I've been reading a ton of things, and a lot of spewing rumors are going back and forth. And Israel is claiming that Hamas is trying to look good. They are trying to propagandize how helpful they're being. They're wrapping her arm in gauze. They're holding little babies, saying, we're not beheading them. They are. In my opinion, I want to be very clear here, they're terrorists. They're monsters. And I want you not to believe, in my opinion, if you're discerning, not to believe those lies. I want to know what you guys think about that. Jeff, you were nodding your head.
Yeah, it is propaganda, in my opinion. I don't know. Listen, everyone has their own opinion.
Sure.
What side you're on. I don't know how there is even two sides, right? I understand the innocent, that's one thing. But to say that there's two sides in Hamas, there isn't. In my opinion, you could think whatever you want. This is propaganda. They're putting that video on. They're making it seem like, oh, we're taping your arm. But on the other side, they're cutting children's heads off. They're raping women in the streets. They're murdering people, shooting them in the back from all the video that we've seen, people on the streets over there. They're animals.
Thank you.
You could come at me again and say whatever you want. They're animals. Don't tell me you're helping this young girl. This young girl is going to be ravaged. And I'm sorry to even say that. They know exactly what they're doing. They're using this as psychological warfare because that's all they have. They don't have anything else. If we get involved, if Israel starts full force against them, they will be eliminated. But right now, this is what they have, and they say, you move on us, we're going to kill this. You move in, you're going to blow up your own hospitals. They're actually handling this pretty smart.
Yeah.
Well,
in terms of terror.
In terms of
terror.
War, in terror.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think traditionally when we talked about war and terror, it was guns and bullets and grenades and hostages. But really now there's also a war of ideas and getting your narrative out there. There's a reason that social media has played a bigger part in this war than has all the wars leading up to it. I think everybody wants to have their narrative set, so whatever happens, when this invasion happens, if it happens, they can come out looking as good as possible. Because Hamas, for as much as people, condemn their condemnable actions, they still want to look good coming out of this. That's why they're putting out these videos. So understanding that everybody has a narrative and a motive
agenda, you're right,
for doing such things will help clarify things as you're looking at them, and you're not just passively absorbing information.
Thank you. And be discerning. I hope our audience is learning that, because I sure am. Eric, I want to get your take on this. I'm sure many of you heard our own President Biden is now set to visit Israel tomorrow. He has two objectives. Now, first is to just demonstrate strong support for Israel, right? He's also pressing, though, for ways to ease the suffering in Gaza. So this is a really big deal, not only for a president to go visit a war zone live and then announce it ahead of time is really strange. If you all remember, Obama went into Iraq, I believe, or Afghanistan under the cloak of darkness. He had to go at night. Nobody knew he was there. What do you think can prevent this war from happening? Do you like Biden coming into Israel and being so open about it?
Well,
does it send a message?
I think, well, to answer your first question, what I think can prevent this war from spreading is way above my pay grade or intelligence level or capabilities. And I think having self-awareness of that is very important, especially because of all the things that you see on social media, people speaking such awful things about people who are absolutely suffering. I do find it strange that the leader of our country would announce that he's going into a place of conflict, especially when there are zero rules of engagement.
Correct.
So that's concerning.
I thought that was weird.
It is concerning. But in terms of like the rhetoric or the things that are being said, and I understand people like to feel seen, they like to feel heard, they want their voices out there, but the hierarchy on human life, innocent human life, is something that is just like physically sickening to me. It's very hard to have conversations when people are so committed to saying things and doing things that are just going to be triggering and really have no place in this world.
No help.
So
and to Mia, I'm sure she wants to. Ani cholechet habayta in Hebrew means I want to go home, and I'm sure that's how Mia feels right now. Coming up on DBL, Suzanne Somers' husband is paying tribute to his longtime partner, revealing what happened in their final days together. Plus, as we recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we are breaking down the truth behind the most common breast cancer myths. I need you to pay attention to this one.
They've got Dr. Kohli coming up. She'll be proud of me. I went to the doctor this morning.
You did?
Clean bill of health. Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you.
Went to the doctor.
I want to ask a quick question. ASP says, I think it's a really dumb move. I think that Biden needs to stay home. And there's a lot of people that feel this way because of the amount of resources that it will take for Mossad, who is some of the best intelligence services in the world, to have to protect, thank you very much, a U.S. president. It will take resources away from what they need. I think it's a strong enough message that it is worth it. I think Israel is so small and needs a big piece of support that is going to show the global community we're not alone. So Biden making that very public, I think, is actually smart. Now,
he's got two agendas, though. He also has to kind of quell the idea that they're going to go in there and destroy Gaza, because he cannot condone war crimes. Just not however he feels about it. If we see a bunch of footage coming out of dead children, which are half of the population, it's just a bad look for the UN and everybody involved. So I think you can kind of hear the coded messages like, I know what y'all want to do, but you can't go in there like that. So I think there is a message like, we support you, but you have to be measured in the way that you go after your agenda.
It's so hard to talk like to Israel to say you need to be measured, because there's so many people feel they have a right to defend themselves. But I totally agree with Al that you also have to add in there's 2 million people here who are stuck in the middle of this crisis. And he's going to Jordan, he's going to Egypt, and he's also going to the PLO head, and he's trying to find some ways of either opening the Rafah border in Egypt or finding humanitarian ways of getting food, water, electricity. There's none of that right now. So expect there to be some movement, hopefully, with Biden's visit, hopefully. Welcome to DBL. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it's more than just wearing pink. It's time to raise awareness and education about this incredibly common disease. Knowledge is power, and we've got our own, very own Dr. Kohli here to help us. And speaking of awareness, Suzanne Somers was very outspoken about her 23-year battle with breast cancer before she passed away this weekend. Now her family is sharing some memories. Her son Bruce posted a sweet message calling her the best mother any son could have dreamed of, and her husband Alan spoke to the Today Show about his last moments with Suzanne. Take a look.
I was grateful that I was with her when she left us. And it was very peaceful, and it was beautiful, and she was beautiful. And we had the whole family come, and they've been here ever since.
Jeff, I know you spoke about Alan before. How do you feel about hearing her final moments with him?
It does gives me a little comfort. I'm glad he has comfort. That's kind of what I'm worried most about. I'm sure, you know, the family, they're probably devastated after 23 years of battling breast cancer. I'm sure they saw this coming maybe a little bit, but I was worried about Alan, and I'm glad he's doing
He's surrounded by love.
Yes, surrounded by love is the right word.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Kohli, let's start by talking about Suzanne's long battle with cancer. She actually spoke about it this summer. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
I didn't realize how much cancer I've had, but I had three surgeries in my 20s with hyperplasia, severe hyperplasia, and then I had a malignant melanoma in my 30s, and then I had my uterus removed, and then I had breast cancer. Wow. And so I think there's a genetic predisposition because I take such good care of myself, and I eat right, and I sleep right, and I think right, and I love right.
So how important are genetics when it comes to breast cancer?
You know, the estimates say about 5 to 15% of breast cancers are genetic, which means they're directly a result of an inherited gene mutation. The ones we think about most commonly are BRCA1 and 2. These are genes that repair our cells from damage. And if they're not working properly, our cells get damaged, they get mutated, and they get cancer. But that means 85 to 90% of cancers are not genetic. They're acquired because of our risk factors. And we're thinking that hormones play a huge role here. So really, how much hormone does your breast tissue see? So if you started your period very early, you had menopause very late. That's an extended estrogen exposure to your breast tissue. If you're using birth control pills, that's a lot of high-dose estrogen that your breasts are seeing for a longer period of time. And then if you don't breastfeed, because of course breastfeeding changes your hormonal environment, all of these are thought to be risk factors for acquired breast cancer.
All right, well, let me ask this question. Suzanne was very outspoken about eating right. How important are foods in breast cancer prevention?
Yeah, you know, the data here is a little bit mixed, but we're starting to learn that some of the things that are good for heart disease prevention are also good for breast cancer prevention. So eating lots of fruits and vegetables and avoiding red meats or processed meats have actually been linked with the lower risk of breast cancer. In Asian countries, soy has shown to be really beneficial as well. Now, if you think about what soy does, it's a phytoestrogen, which means it binds the estrogen receptor. So initially we thought it would actually increase your risk, but now the thinking is it sort of distracts the estrogen receptors by binding them so that the real estrogen doesn't go and cause trouble and cause the cancer to bruise. So that's thought to be linked to it as well.
Soy.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad. Now it's good. Back to being okay.
Yeah, I was over here confused as
Me
well.
too,
like I
right?
thought so it was bad, but okay.
Okay, good to know.
That's good news. So I have to ask you, because when Suzanne was here and she last spoke with us, she said that she was taking up to 50 supplements a day. What do you think about that? Is that too much?
Oof, yes. So, you know, when it comes to supplements, I am very conservative, and they have not been shown to prevent or reverse chronic disease, especially with respect to cancer. So my sort of philosophy is don't put anything inside your body before you know that it's not doing any harm. And with some of these supplements, we don't know if they're causing harm. When you take a bunch of pills, the first place that they go is to your liver, for your liver to break them down so they can interact with other medications and other, you know, drugs, chemotherapy and such. So I'm not a huge fan of supplements because they have not been shown in the literature to really work.
That is good information. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Kohli is sticking around to break down the truth behind the most common misconceptions about breast cancer. Stick around for that. That's coming up next.
It's time to pull out the sweaters and warm clothes as we are really feeling those fall temperatures. But some people are asking, does the change in weather increase your chances of getting sick? Our sources, cardiologist Dr. Kohli, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, and the Cleveland Clinic. Both Dr. Robinson and Dr. Kohli agree the change in temperature doesn't make you sick, but it can boost your odds of catching a virus.
Just a temperature change in and of itself is not enough to make you ill. You have to, in fact, be exposed to a virus.
The Cleveland Clinic says there are three main factors that increase illness during weather changes: drier air, the cold temperatures, and exposure.
What happens when the weather gets colder? The air gets a lot drier, which means that when we inhale that dry air, we can be more dehydrated. That can affect our immune function. Our mucous membranes, which are sort of our first line of immunity, all the linings of our lungs, our nose, our mouth, those can start to crack.
Dr. Kohli says those cracks can allow bacteria and viruses to get into your body.
And what else happens when it's cold out? We all tend to sort of congregate indoors. Their exposure to other people can go up.
According to Dr. Kohli, viruses also survive better in the cooler temperatures.
So anytime there's a large swing in ambient temperature and ambient humidity, or even in the pressure outside, the barometric pressure outside, it can cause biological changes in our body.
So we can verify that, yes, a quick change in weather can increase your chances of getting sick, although the temperature change by itself won't give you a cold. The Cleveland Clinic says some ways to avoid getting sick: stay warm, stay hydrated, get enough rest, and boost your immune system with vaccines. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Everything is super important until you are sick. Then you realize there was only ever one thing that was important: your health.
The best advice that I was given during my cancer journey, just that this moment is temporary. Cancer doesn't go easy on anyone, so you just have to respect your body and allow yourself time to heal. Just take each day as it comes.
Welcome back. Chances are you know someone affected by breast cancer, am I right? That's because it's a disease that will affect more than 290,000 women just this year. We're continuing our conversation with Dr. Kohli to bust some myths. Hi, Dr. Kohli.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
All right, so let's get into it, because here's something I've heard. Breast cancer also causes a lump you can feel. Is this a myth or a truth?
Many of us think that we have to have a lump to have breast cancer. And in fact, earliest breast cancer is actually microscopic. You can't feel it. And 1 out of 6 women will go to their doctor with a complaint of something besides a lump. Things like nipple discharge, change in the color of the skin, change in the size or shape of the breasts. And sometimes it's even their partner that actually notices that. So don't wait for that lump. Anything that looks funny on your breast, feels funny, even if it's just breast pain, that is a reason to visit your doctor, because it doesn't have to be a lump to be cancer.
That is life-saving information. Dr. Kohli, what about this one? Antiperspirants, bras, hair dyes, dairy, and cell phone use all cause breast cancer. Myth or truth?
That one's a myth.
Okay.
So, we've looked into this a lot because there was a lot of concern, especially about those aluminum-based deodorants.
That's right. I was using the natural thing.
Right.
And last time you were here, we were talking about cell phones and its correlations.
And radiation risk from those, and then the bra can, the underwire can kind of push on the breast and create inflammation, or that was the worry. So if you think about what you're rubbing into your armpits, it's this aluminum-based, deodorant that actually plugs up your sweat glands. So the idea is it getting inside and accumulating in breast tissue? And the good news there, guys, is we're not seeing a signal here. Many years of observational data, women who've gotten breast cancer asked about their deodorant use. It doesn't seem to be that it's accumulating, doesn't seem to be that it's associated with higher risk. So you don't really have to worry when it comes to that.
That's huge.
All right, good news. Well, let's ask about this, because a lot of people have a couple glasses of alcohol a day. Is that myth or truth to increasing your breast cancer risk?
This one is a truth. And there is a dose-dependent relationship, meaning the more alcohol you have, the more you increase your risk, not just of breast cancer, but other cancers and heart disease as well. So they say as few as 3 to 6 drinks a week for women, which is like 1 drink a day or less, can increase your risk.
Or happy hour.
By 15%, exactly.
The first 45.
So we're really pushing now. The American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society, less than 2 drinks a week for men or women. So on a weekend, you can enjoy a nice glass of wine, but try to limit it, because really the dose does matter when it comes to cancer and heart disease.
Can I ask a real question for people that do drink? Is it better to just kind of have not a bunch of drinks, but get drunk one night rather than spacing out 2 drinks over the course of 7 days.
So the weekend warriors.
Or just the,
No, the opposite. I would rather you drink 2 glasses of wine every night with dinner than going out on a Saturday and having a wild night with your friends, because the dose of alcohol that you're getting in that one single setting overwhelms your liver and can increase your risk.
Huh.
Good to know.
Yeah. We're going to talk. You want to ask about mammograms? You want me to do it? Let's talk about mammograms. Only women with a family history of breast cancer need to get them. Is this true or false?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Every single woman over the age of 40, starting at 40, needs to have a mammogram. And if you have a family history or genetic risk factor, then
Erica just gave me the side eye. I'm 41. I've never had one.
I was very
ladies.
I was going to yell at you after this because I was very upset.
I know
We are making your appointment today.
Okay. I have not had one.
We need to know if our breasts are dense.
Okay.
And that is not something you can tell by size, by shape, or by looking. The only way to tell is on a mammogram, because if you have a dense breast, the mammogram may not be able to see it's white on white, and so you may actually need further testing like an MRI or an ultrasound.
Okay. Dr. Kohli, Miss Cobb, I will be scheduling it today. I hope all of you will as well. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Kohli on social. Follow Pyle Kohli MD. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli.
Always. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
There's a good chance there's a gourd or 2 on the front porch right now, but this meme shared here on Facebook says that one way to keep that lasting through the fall is with a bleach bath. It also cautions, though, that's bad for wildlife. So, does bleach preserve the life of a pumpkin, and is it dangerous to critters?
We turn to these sources to verify. First, does bleach extend the life of a pumpkin?
On the surface of that pumpkin, there's lots of fungi and bacteria and things that will eventually break through the skin of the pumpkin.
John Porter, urban agriculture educator with the University of Nebraska, explains, yes, using diluted bleach to sanitize that pumpkin can extend the pumpkin's life.
It will actually kill the bacteria and fungi.
Clorox, a company that makes bleach, even includes a pumpkin bleaching tutorial on its website. Okay, so is it safe? For wildlife and people, yes.
The key is to use it correctly.
Dilute it, no more than a tablespoon of bleach per gallon of water, and use the solution in a well-ventilated area.
Once it's dilute and once it's open to the air, bleach actually dissipates very quickly. So within 24 hours, all of that bleach is gone from the surface of that pumpkin.
That means shortly after spritzing your pumpkin, it's front porch ready. Though Porter recommends waiting a bit longer if you bleach the more absorbent inside of a jack-o'-lantern.
There is minimal risk to wildlife. Most people don't realize that many of the pumpkins and things that you buy from the grocery store or the farmer's market has probably already been at one point washed with bleach.
That initial post suggests using vinegar to preserve the pumpkin, but Porter says evidence is divided on just how useful that actually is. The Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources says yes, pumpkins like these are a treat for critters like squirrels and raccoons, but they say the bigger concern for them with their safety is little plastic debris like candy wrappers that can often be left around this time of year. So that's another thing to keep an eye on, to watch out for your furry neighbors. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
A viral post with nearly 2 million views claims Hamas has training camps in Mexico, including one just across the border from Texas. But is there any evidence that these camps exist? Let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of State, the National Counterterrorism Center, and Javed Ali, a counterterrorism associate professor at the University of Michigan. Hamas was created in 1987 with the goal of creating a Palestinian state in Israel's place. The National Counterterrorism Center, which tracks Hamas, says the militant group primarily operates in Gaza and has a presence in the West Bank, refugee camps in Lebanon, and key regional capitals in the Middle East, not Mexico. Ali tells Verify in 35 years, Hamas has never conducted an attack outside of Israel, and there's no reason to think it's expanded beyond the Middle East. In 2021, the State Department compiled a report on terrorism in Mexico, which concluded there was no credible evidence indicating international terrorist groups established bases in Mexico. So, no, there is no evidence of Hamas training camps in Mexico. With your Verify along the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today? I'm ready to shop.
Hey Tori, hey DBL Nation. I am so excited to show you the deals we've got today. As ever, they're fabulous. Get ready to shop and check things out. First up, we've got the Malibu Sky Zoe backpack with a front pocket.
Ooh.
So this deal includes one backpack. We've got it available in 5 colors. It's made of vegan leather.
Nice.
It's got 2 front pockets, adjustable straps, and a beautiful gold tone hardware.
Ooh.
Normally, Tori, they're $118. We've got it for $24.99. That's saving 79%. Next up is the Spa Pro at-home heated rejuvenating foot massager.
Ooh,
so this deal includes 1 foot massager with heat. It's got 3 massaging modes, including air compression, so you feel your pain and stress just melt away. Normally, this is $70. We've got it for just $34.99. That is saving 50%. Now check out this. We have got the iJoy Aqua IPX 4 splash proof speaker.
Oh.
So this deal includes 1 speaker. We've got it in this lovely blue color or a marbly gray. Normally it's $24.
That's not that bad.
Sorry, we've got it for $9.
$9?
$9.
Stephanie.
That's saving you guys 63%.
What?
Okay, and then last but not least today, we've got the Tycrol E6-port USB charging station.
Whoa.
So this deal includes 1 charging station and 6 charging cords.
What?
Normally, it's $50.
Okay.
We got it for $24.99. That's saving 50%.
You guys head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or scan that QR code. It's right on screen. It'll take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Steph, thank you so much. We love sharing your comments. Megan says the panel is looking sharp in pink. What's even sharper is if you go get that mammogram, which I'm signing up to do, because Erica will side-eye me the whole time if I don't.
I will.
Thank you. Suzanne says, this is about Suzanne Somers. Sarah says, what a wonderful relationship Suzanne and Alan had. I wish him the best as he gets through his grief. And Stacy says, rest in peace, Suzanne. You will be missed.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but being with somebody as they transition, it's very, like I was with both my grandparents, they transitioned obviously at different times, left this life to the next one, and being with them.
I've never been
It's very, I told Jessica I don't care about social media. Like when you're with people when they die, like I don't care what you say in the comments. So I would say that I'm sure that helped him in his like understanding and acknowledging that this life ends, but there's hopefully something else after that.
And just to say, as a caregiver, there has to be some sense of relief for the peace that she's feeling.
Yes, if you really love somebody.
The pain is gone. And I can't explain to you how backwards that sounds, but it's real. There's a sense of peace for her, and we hope for Alan. DBL is new every single day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.